What separates humanity from the rest of the mammals is our higher mental faculties. To fail to use this to our advantage is to be no better than our mammalian counterparts. Use your mind to break the chains of your animal nature and become the master of your destiny. The main difference between human minds and the rest of the animal kingdom is our powerful memories and imaginations. If mismanaged, they become the main source of suffering. In regards to controlling the mind, it's worth mentioning the critical health components like sleep, nutrition, and Maslow's hierarchy of needs. These things are potential negative factors that reduce your mental control and act as prerequisites for quieting your monkey brain. Danger and desperation rob you of mental autonomy by forcing you into short-term thinking. When your survival feels threatened, your autonomy collapses. And what we usually call a lack of mental control is really an inability to delay gratification, which then gets reinforced by addictions like social media, sugar, processed foods, drugs, etc. Addictive things don't just distract you, they actually steal your agency by hijacking your attention. The pathologies and evils of others are just weaknesses that have been placed upon them by circumstance and life. Under all of those things is an innocent child that is in tune with their emotions and knows what they want, that loves freely and gets excited easily. There is no advantage to labeling someone as evil if their evil is not their fault. It is a consequence of circumstance. And if that's true, then the logical conclusion is a focus on rehabilitation, whether you're speaking about someone else or yourself. Your pathologies and weaknesses, your evil and stupidity is circumstantial. It's like a temporary sickness that is possible to cure yourself of. It's not a declaration of being, and it's not fundamental to humanity. That goes for other people too. The more fucked up they are, the more garbage they have piled up on top of them, and all that's just obscuring the beautiful human underneath. When you're controlling emotions, it's helpful to delay your response time through control of the breath. That gives you a gap in which you can avoid being destructive. You have to also be able to understand your emotions and not just stifle them, to track them and their source, to understand why the source caused them, and to think critically about what you should do with that information. All negative emotion can be used as useful information and can help you build a more meaningful life if you pay attention. The more aware you become of your emotions and how they feel in your body, the better you become at identifying them. The better you can identify them, the better you can control them. Diving into the sensation of the physical component of the feeling you are experiencing shifts focus from the thoughts that cause the feeling, and it actually dissipates the feeling. There's also a breathing style and pace associated with each emotion. Change the breathing pace and style, and you change your emotion. There is more than just physical sensation and breathing style and pace. There's a bunch of physiological symptoms associated with an emotion. For example, you have the smile, you have your posture, you have the furrowed brow, etc. The physical expressions and gestures that we all recognize as body language are also associated with emotions. These expressions happen as a consequence of how we feel, and our brain very closely associates how we feel with what our body's doing. This works both ways. It's possible to intentionally change the way your body behaves to mimic the body expressions of a positive emotion and actually begin to feel the emotion associated with it. Your brain, it seems, isn't very good at telling the difference. You also have the interpretation of your emotions. So, if one emotion is similar enough to another, you can just train yourself to perceive that emotion as the more positive counterpart. So, for example, you can go from nervous to excited really easily. One is a positive, anticipatory feeling, and the other is a sense of anxiety that makes you want to shy away. Very different thoughts associated with these two feelings, but very similar physical states and bodily sensation. Cognitive reframing allows you to shift your perception of data. It gives you a lens through which you can interpret events that take place in your life more positively. That's intentional cope. Feeling better about situations allows you to be healthier and stronger, making it more likely that you engage with the world in a moral and meaningful way. So, perhaps it's worth it. An example of cognitive reframing is, I didn't lose, I learned. Or, I missed the train, good, I wanted a moment to think. Or, I'm stuck in traffic, great, now I can rest and listen to music. The interpretation of your bodily systems can also heavily influence how you experience them. So, for example, the understanding of the function and purpose of adrenaline allows you to better utilize it, to gain control over it. For someone unaware, it just feels like intense anxiety. But adrenaline is as close to a superpower as most of you will ever get. Understanding the effect it has on your perception, muscles, and reaction time helps you use it in the moment. Something else you might not realize is that you see the world through concepts, not for what it is. That's why they teach you to see shapes in art class and not draw from memory or understanding. You impose your concept of a thing over your sensory input. The more you know of the world, the less you see of it. To see things with fresh eyes, you have to be able to destroy presuppositions. That's why the technique of first principles thinking is so useful in physics and in life. The only reason why you aren't constantly mind blown by reality is because you've gotten accustomed to it. You've applied concepts to everything around you, so much so that you don't even have to look at it. When you see a tree, you don't see a wrinkly brown thing with long appendages and green circular things stuck to them. You just see a tree, and then you move on, because you know what a tree is and that it's not a threat. The basis of controlling your mind is to wrestle down the compulsive nature of it, to make your thoughts and emotions intentional, to make your state of mind intentional. So long as your thoughts and emotions are compulsive, you'll find yourself trapped in suffering. To do this, the first thing that needs to be understood is that everything that occurs in your mind and body is observable. They are thoughts and sensations that arise in your awareness. The thing that observes. Your base awareness is the foundation of who you are. This state of observation, this base awareness is unchanging and is the same in every human being. Everything outside of this base awareness is in permanent state of change. You are not your thoughts or your emotions or your sensations. You are not your understanding of yourself. You are not your job or the car you drive. You're not the contents of your wallet. You're not your fucking khakis. These are simply things you are aware of. The larger the distance between you and the things within your awareness, the greater the control. The base awareness is a space that's naturally filled by everything that enters it. It's fully engrossed by whatever comes into awareness. The more singular, the more profound, the more broad or general the awareness, the more shallow. Meaning is found in depth, not in the shallow. When you're speaking to someone and you're truly focused, they become the singular data point in your awareness. They are so engrossing that you forget yourself and become them temporarily. When you return, by opening your awareness back up, you still have the memory of walking in their shoes. You might also experience time dilation as it happens in flow state. The eternal base awareness is an insight into how God experiences our reality. He is the writer and creator, therefore observes creation from an eternal perspective. I view the arrival of thoughts as sourced by God, as they cannot be tracked. I view your individuality and base preferences to be God-given. I see the process of science as well as the process of ideology refinement to be the process by which we achieve better and better understanding of God. I also see it as the way in which we achieve more and more meaningful reality. For this, the ideology needs to be leading the way, or we develop power without using it to increase meaning. The curious thing about the fundamental state of being, where time has no relevance and there's no subject, only awareness, is that it's the same for everyone. That the fundamental state of the conscious mind is this no subject awareness. This state is as close to God as we can get and is located within the foundation of every human being. They need only become aware of it to experience it and to be changed by its existence. The natural consequence of becoming aware of the unity within humanity is to be altruistic. That's because it's natural to be kind and loving to yourself. This natural state of awareness is also outside of the typical mental suffering of the mind. That's to say that the mental afflictions and pathologies that plague everyday people aren't present when you're in that mind state. Meditation is simply the practice and skill set of getting to this no-mind state of being. Training focus to get to a state of awareness outside of yourself. Getting to the mind of God. The higher the level of skill at this, the easier it becomes to access. You begin with the breath. As you go deeper into focus, more and more of the outside world disappears from your awareness. First, you stop noticing all other sensations, except for the sensation of the inhalation and exhalation. Then, your thoughts disappear. Then there's nothing but the breath. Eventually, you become accustomed to the breath and that disappears as well. You can also practice training your focus by diving deeply into each individual sense one at a time. So, as you dive deeper into touch, for example, you'll notice more things. The more things you notice, the deeper you're traveling into the sense. The deeper you go, the less you notice your mind and the other senses. This is the training of attention. With this skill developed, you can freely choose what to engage with, what to perceive intentionally. If you're thinking of something you don't want to think, simply focus on something else. If you feel suffering, simply remove awareness of thoughts and feelings. If you want to focus on something, simply remove all thoughts and sensations not associated with your subject of attention. Focus on a particular object, if you go deep enough, becomes the totality of your conscious experience, so much so that you dissolve from awareness. You become as much the object you were focused on as you were yourself moments ago. It seems you can expand your awareness to the sensory input, all of it. This expands your consciousness or sense of self to everything within awareness, while you yourself are dissolved, effectively dissolving the normal version of you that was there previously, the one confined to your regular mind and body. You become the world and everything in it. Personally, I see things fatalistically. I see things as a finished novel or play, already written. My free will from the subjective view of a character, in fact, exists and is vital for the outcomes of the play. The play remains finished and complete outside of time. Whatever I choose was already predetermined by the writer. It seems that you were selecting left or right in the moment, but in reality, it's the writer who's chosen for you. You should act as if you have free will. It is critical for the story that humanity remains sovereign, but ultimately, it is God that has decided. You are not even in control of the next thought that will pop into your head. You are a collection of circumstances and causes, stuck on a train doing your part, as is everyone else. Free will is a phenomenon that is dependent upon linear time, otherwise it is a chain of causality. We have an illusion of free will because as an individual we can make decisions based on our own thought processes, but this ultimately is an illusion because as any other force of nature, we do not decide what the thought process being generated is. We can guide this pathway with enough mindfulness, but even the thought of, I need to be more mindful in my thinking, was not ultimately something we decide to think out of nowhere. It's generated originally by our internal hardware, our previous experiences and physical programming that built up to the moment of thought, which occurs to us as an involuntary reaction to a situation or other uncontrolled strings of thought. Just because free will in a total sense doesn't exist, doesn't stop us from making choices and decisions. It's just that these choices and decisions are rooted in deterministic causes, and we couldn't have acted any differently. Our objective should be to bend the illusion of free will into creating the most compelling character within the play possible. We should be jockeying for the most interesting roles. Our thrashing is anticipated, but it makes no difference to us. There is no freedom to change the story, but there is experiential freedom to enact it. In the end, we will do what we can. Perhaps me doing what I can leads you to make reality better and not worse. Conscious attention is the spearhead of the force of self-organizing systems. It's drawn to a specific fundamental source. The process of the development of the universe is the process of stripping away obstruction and approaching the source with greater and greater accuracy over time. The direction of attention will be drawn to the next brightest direction no matter what. The systems I've mentioned can be used as useful tools, so add them to your toolbox. Use them to make yourself a more effective human in the story of humanity, to be more capable of bringing meaning to our people. I do this for the friends I've lost. If only I could go back and help them find their way. We will meet again soon.